All right, good morning, Rangers. Sorry I am not able to be in school today, but I did want to make a video and kind of walk you through what you guys' expectations are for dot plots. So we're going to continue looking at our dot plots. So let's go ahead and get started. Your learning target today is I can compare two dot plots based on their measures of center. And these measures of center include median, mode, and range. So we've been talking about those for a while, and we're going to start looking at those and applying those now at the seventh grade level. We've been doing a lot of baseline stuff and establishing it, and let's take a look at now how we're going to be using that to move forward. So before we jump into that, I do want to take a minute and talk about the word shape. We haven't really talked about this, but I do want to take a minute to talk about it. So shape, another word for shape is you might hear the word skew, and we're going to talk about what that means. And there's three shapes or skews for a dot plot. These are symmetrical, skewed left, and skewed right. So let's take a look at this first dot plot on the top. And that is an example of something that is symmetrical. And here's why. So the word skew kind of reminds me of the word ski. And we're going to be looking at some ski slopes here based on these dot plots. So for example, if we look at the one that John says is symmetrical, and he's right, if I placed a skier on top of this hill here, and I wanted to know which way would it be most safe for him to ski down. And I'm looking at the hill that's created by these dots. Well, it looks pretty safe to ski down either left or right because it's the same on both sides. So that's what we call symmetrical, is when it's the same. Now let's take a look at the hill that's created by this dot plot down here. And let's place our skier on top. And so we can ask ourselves, which way is it safer to ski down? To the left, where it's straight down, or nice and easy down the right, where it's nice and sloped and comes out nice and even. So John has identified this as being skewed right, and it's correct because I would rather ski down to the left, ski down to the right rather than down to the left. And so when we look at this, it's kind of opposite, right? All the data is on the left, but we want to ski or skew to the right, where it's safer. So the opposite would be true for this one. I'm going to place my skier on top of my mode, which is the peak of my hill. And I'm going to ask myself, is it safe to ski right and perish to my death? Or is it nice and safer to ski to the left where it tails out? And so in this case, I do want to go to the left because that is where the tail goes. So it's a quick rundown of some shapes. Remember, symmetrical meaning same on both sides. Skewed right, it's safer to ski right because that's where the tail is. Skewed left, it's safer to ski left because that's where the tail is. So, all right, so let's go take a look at some dot plots that we're going to work with today. Okay, so here we have two dot plots that shows the heights of some basketball players on two different teams. So we're going to use these dot plots to find these measures of center. I did already put the shapes in here. So A is pretty much symmetrical because if I start at the mode, which is 78, which is good, go ahead and put that into the table now. So 78 is my mode here on table A. And if I look, it's pretty much the same on both sides. It's not perfect, and most dot plots aren't going to be the perfect symmetrical shape or the perfect skewed shape. But in general, we can say that A is symmetrical. So let's look at B. I'm saying that it's skewed left. So I'm looking for the mode. So in this case, the mode would be 80. Because remember, the mode means most. So which number has the most dots? And I'm going to ask myself, okay, would I rather ski down left, right, or is it the same on both sides? And more than likely, I'm going to want to ski to the right. To the left, because it's safer over here. So skewed left. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look for is range. So remember, the range is the distance between the lowest data value and the highest data value. So I'm looking for what's the first number I see on the left that has a dot. So that's my minimum. And the minimum height here is 72 inches. And then I'm going to say, okay, what's the highest number that has a dot, or my maximum, which is 83. And so then all I have to do is subtract the two to find the difference. So 83 minus 72 would give me 11. So to find the range, I want to do 83 minus 72, and it gives me 11. So the same thing for team B. My minimum is 72. My maximum is 84. So I'm going to say 84 minus 72, and that gives me a range of 12. All right, so median. Let's go look at the median. So remember, we looked at median, meaning middle, on Friday, and we talked a lot about making sure you have your own sheet of paper to do this with, because we want you guys to actually list out all the numbers. So what that would look like is this. And I've listed all the numbers here. And what we're going to do is cancel out on the left and the right until we get to the middle numbers. So let's start that process. So this is a long process. You can use the dot crossed out. I feel like this is a little more easier because it's organized. So let's take a look at how we would do that. So let's just start canceling out until we get to the middle here. So I'm going to continue canceling until I get to the middle numbers here. So what happens, what we realize is we get stuck between these two. So I have a 78 and a 79. And remember, we're looking for the median, which is the middle. So I have to ask myself, okay, what number is directly between those two? Now, most of us, or some of us, we can probably see that we know that that's 78.5 or 78.5. If you're not sure how to do that, here's what you need to do. You need to find the average of these two, or the mean. And what I'm going to do is say 79 plus 78. And that's going to give me 157. And then when I divide that by 2, it should come out to 79.5. So let's do the same thing for B. So we're going to start canceling our values out here. I'm going to keep canceling on one side and the other until we are completely in the middle here. And again, we run into two numbers, so we can add them and divide by 2, or just think about what is directly between 79 and 80. And that gives me 79.5. So those are my two medians. They're actually, it should be 78.5, excuse me. That's the issue. 78.5 for A and 79.5 for B. So let's go plug those into our table. Okay, so let's type in all our values in the table here. And let me go ahead and clear that screen. All right, so we had the mode. So we know that the median for team A was 78.5. The median for team B was 79.5, so very close. The range for team A was 11. For team B, it was 12. The mode, 78 for team A and 80 for team B. And then we have shape. So let's use this information and let's go look at some comparison statements about these two shapes. All right, so we're going to sort these shapes true or false based on what we determined about what we just found. So the mode of team A is greater than the mode of team B. So let's go look at our table. Well, we said team A is 78, team B is 80. So is A greater than B? That answer is no. So this would be a false statement. Team B has a greater range than Team A. So let's go look at what's your work here. Team A's range is 11. Team B's range is 12. Again, that would be a true statement because B is greater than A. And honestly, you can just look at that. They both start at 72. One goes to 84. One only goes to 83. So B does have a larger range. The mode is the same for both Team A and Team B. Well, the mode for A is 78. The mode for B is 80. So that is a false statement. Team A and Team B have equal medians, have medians that are equal. Well, if we go back and look at the work we did, right? Median here was 78.5. Median for Team B was 79.5. Those are not equal. Therefore, that is a false statement. Team B has the same shape as Team A. One is symmetrical, one is skewed left. So therefore, that is also a false statement. So that's what you're going to be doing today in your assignment is looking at dot plots and comparing them. Question 1 is this video. So make sure we get the password that I'm about to give you. And then question 2 is going to ask you to complete a table. The values are there. You just need to go ahead and figure out which values go where. And then the rest of the questions, only 4 questions, are comparison statements about some dot plots. So if you run into any trouble, we will talk about it on Wednesday just to make sure we're good. We have STAR testing tomorrow. So I will not see most of you. And good luck tomorrow. And shoot me an email if you have questions. First and second period, you'll have Miss Libby. 8th period, Ms. Couture is probably there. So good luck and let me know. All right, guys, I will see you guys. So your task for today is to complete practice in Schoology. Make sure you go complete any missing work, and then make sure you have finished that probability test if you have not done so. If you have done so and you did not score well on it, make sure you're doing those retests. I know a bunch of you have done that. I am currently looking at those grades, and I will be updating them this week sometime. So, all right, guys, good job. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or Wednesday.